In the sport of baseball, the common perception of the knuckleball is seen as a random, unpredictable pitch. Graduate student Mark Fong's thesis is here to prove whether or not that statement is true.
The start of my research was to sort of hopefully prove that the knuckleball wasn't random.
Fong's research takes place in a still air environment to try and replicate the spin rate in a game-like scenario.
Most conventional pitches are thrown with a high spin rate, somewhere between 800 and 2000 RPM. Knuckleball is thrown with as little spin as possible. One of the more famous recent pitchers, R.A. Dickey, tries to put about a quarter rotation of spin on the ball between the time he releases it and by the time it hits the plate.
The device that Fong and other WSU sports science researchers use differs quite differently than the typical pitching machine.
When we load up the cannon with 100 psi of compressed air, and then when we release it, the air pushes the piston forward, and then the ball is set up on a tee in front of that piston, so the piston just sort of picks it up, and then as it reaches its end of the stroke, the ball gets released with no spin.
Assistant Director of Sports Science Lab at WSU, Jeff Kinsrud, says the overall goal of the study is to prove that the knuckleball is potentially erratic.
The pitcher can't truly deliver the knuckleball perfectly without spin. There's always some spin. Or maybe they actually intend to have spin on the ball because, again, as that ball begins to rotate a quarter of a turn or a half a turn to the plate, it goes through several different shape changes and profile changes with respect to the seams. And for that reason, flow may separate on this side, it may reconnect to the ball over here, and for that reason it kind of shifts and moves all over the place.
The cannons have the ability to throw a knuckleball up to 100 miles per hour, but Fong believes there to be a very little hope of it being humanly possible.
The ability to release, for a human hand to release a pitch at a ball at 100 miles an hour with no spin, I just don't think would be possible.
If Fong's research comes out to prove that the knuckleball is random, it would somewhat prove a first of its kind in the realm of sports.
If my research proves that a knuckleball is random, it is an interesting and unique element of baseball that isn't necessarily seen in other sports, which is just to have a completely random event.